CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Miriam Valdez-Carletti.
Good evening. An Alberta mother is questioning why a prolific offender was allowed out on bail before he allegedly crashed into her car, killing her daughter. Morgan Daniels-Dion spoke to CTV News from her hospital bed, where she recounted the night of the crash. CTV's Nerman Issa reports.
She was a character. She loved singing and dancing.
Morgan Daniels-Dion is emotional as she looks back on memories of her daughter. 5-year-old Lilith was killed in a head-on crash last week on a highway near Cold Lake.
A big piece of us was taken from us, and we will never have that.
The 27-year-old broke several bones, including both ankles and a tibia. Her partner is also in hospital with several injuries. Their 10-month-old daughter survived.
It was pretty horrifying because I remember everything.
Daniels-Dion says she begged the other driver to help.
Call 911 and then check on my children because I had my 2 daughters in the back. And then he looked at me and he said, he went like this. He said, I don't know.
RCMP says the 34-year-old driver was in a stolen vehicle. It says after the crash, he stole a Good Samaritan's vehicle who stopped to help. At the time, the man was on bail for breaching a probation order.
I'm so angry. I don't know what to do. Because, why would they let him out?
In a statement to CTV News, the province is calling on the federal government to accelerate its bail reform bill. One criminologist says there needs to be accountability.
Where this individual should not have been out based on everything I've read about with what their past was and the fact that they were out on release conditions. Granted, I understand that jail is not the solving of everything, but in a case like this was a preventable crime.
As Daniels-Dion grieves from her hospital bed, she wants people to remember her daughter the way she did.
She was just so sweet. She just loved everybody.
A GoFundMe has been set up to help with expenses. Nerman Issa, CTV News, Edmonton.
A collision in Queen Mary Park, just north of downtown, is Edmonton's first pedestrian death of the year. Bystanders attempted to save the woman's life. CTV's Evan Kenny has more on their efforts and concerns following 32 deaths on city streets last year.
I heard a very loud impact.
Andre Grandin was working just north of downtown Wednesday morning when he heard the loud bang.
I kind of ran over and there was someone on the ground, pair of shoes, and then about 20 yards away was somebody on the ground.
A 78-year-old woman had been hit by a moving van. Grandin called 911 and started giving the woman CPR.
Just trying to preserve the chances of survival for this person that had been quite clearly struck by a vehicle at a pretty high rate of speed.
Despite his efforts, the woman died. Police do not believe speed or alcohol were a factor.
I didn't see the light at the time, but when the individual came back, he was kind of explaining that it was a green light that this individual had crossed at.
Edmonton police say the woman was crossing 107th Avenue at a spot where she was not supposed to be when she was hit. It's the first deadly traffic collision in the city in 2026.
It's obviously early in the year, and we don't want to see a fatality this early. We don't want to see any fatalities. I think, again, it just shows that, for pedestrians, and it was pedestrian collision, pedestrian drivers just have to be aware of their surroundings.
Last year, 32 people died in collisions on Edmonton roads, more than the 20-year average. The mayor hopes the newly approved traffic safety enforcement team can help curb the increase in deaths.
One fatality on our roads is too many. That's somebody's family member, somebody's friend, somebody's neighbor, and it's tragic. It doesn't matter the circumstances of it.
Edmonton's Safe Mobility team says an engineering review of the location will happen to see if there are any issues that can and should be addressed. As a part of the review, fatality signs will be placed at the location of the collision to acknowledge a fatality has taken place and serve as a visual reminder to drive safely. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
A security guard and Edmonton police officers were among witnesses today at the second-degree murder trial for Justin Bone. CTV's Amanda Anderson has the latest from day 4 of the trial.
Justin Bone is accused of 2 unprovoked attacks in Chinatown in May 2022. 64-year-old Hung Trang, an employee at an auto body shop, and 61-year-old Bonfu Kwang, the owner of an electronics store, were beaten to death. A security guard who initially tried to arrest Bone told the court he was agitated and throwing objects. He said Bone had a look in his eyes as though he just did something heinous. A police officer who arrested Bone was next to testify. She told the court she had to yell commands at least 15 times before Bone complied and was taken into custody. She was asked about an incident in the cells where Bone reportedly broke a sprinkler flooding the cell area. She told the court Bone said he did it because he wanted water. An EPS forensic photographer was also called. She described photos she took of the scene at the electronics store, as well as attempts to collect evidence from Bone when at the police station. She says when they attempted to take the photographs, collect his clothes, and take swabs for evidence, he was not compliant. During cross-examination, Bone's lawyer questioned whether his client's charter rights were violated because he wasn't taken to a phone to call a lawyer when he asked for one. One witness told the court Bone asked to make the call at the same time the broken sprinkler was being dealt with, while the forensic officer said it's practice to collect and document evidence with an accused before going to the phone room to prevent cross-contamination. The trial continues tomorrow. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Alberta Occupational Health and Safety is investigating the death of a worker at an oil sands mine north of Fort McMurray. Suncor says a contractor was operating heavy machinery at its Fort Hill site. The provincial government says the worker was inside a piece of equipment when it sank into muskeg. The worker's body has not been found. Suncor says the investigation is in its early stages and believe it may have been the result of a medical issue. Another core city service says demand is increasing as Edmonton grows. Edmonton Fire Rescue Services is looking to secure more resources as City Council prepares for the next 4-year budget cycle. The fire chief says call volumes have gone up nearly 70% over the last 5 years. In 2025, the service responded to about 91,000 calls. More than half were medical emergencies. 2025 marked the first full year with an amended policy aimed at restricting firefighter responses to only the most life-threatening medical calls. The chief says while the service is looking at ways to shed more calls, it's now focused on the budget.
How do we ensure that we've got fire stations sited in the newer developing areas? I think that's where I'd say one of the main frustrations is making sure that we've got the money to replace our fleet in a timely manner. As I mentioned, fire trucks have literally doubled in cost in the last few years.
A new fire station opened in Blatchford last year. Council also approved support for 2 more new stations. People who live in a South Edmonton community are worried about whether their kids will be able to attend its recently built school. Edmonton's mayor says the circumstances is not new, and both the city and province are working to fix it. CTV's Connor Hogg has more.
Both Lauren Caniff's kids go to Joey Moss School. It's within walking distance from their home, something the family factored in when they moved to Keswick. Caniff says that may not be the case for her newer neighbors.
I feel very fortunate that they're in, so they get to stay in, which is great. I do hear concerns because people have moved into the community and either they moved in somewhere that isn't zoned for Joey Moss and maybe they weren't aware at the time they moved in.
3.5-year-old Joey Moss School was upgraded to Zone 3, which means it's one of 11 in the city that could be forced to hold a school lottery for new students if pre-registration is too high.
The more we keep building new neighborhoods, especially at a time where the province hasn't caught up on school construction, although they're doing the work every day to try to do that, you're almost making that problem worse.
Edmonton Mayor Andrew Knack says infill homes are a potential solution to the problem of overcrowded schools and new neighborhoods. Knack says the city needs to think more about how it expands in the future and make sure it's planning complete communities. The Office of the Education Minister says $8.6 billion is being spent to build and renovate 130 schools in the province, with 36 active projects in Edmonton.
The funding that they put in is going to be certainly a step in the right direction, but more is needed to make sure that people can move within a community and actually have access to the local school nearby.
Edmonton's public school board says the zoning for Joey Ma's school hasn't changed in recent years. A map on its website shows it does not cover the whole neighborhood. Caniff says parents need to research early.
It could be more of an issue for the people who move in after the fact. And I also know that there is, I think, a specific area of Keswick being built right now that people are moving into that assume that they are zoned for the school and they're not.
School pre-enrollment begins in February. If interest is too high, then a lottery will be held. It does not affect existing students. The Education Minister's office says more Edmonton schools will be announced in the near future. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
A few thousand Edmontonians have received parking tickets so far this winter for violating seasonal parking bans. Not all of those fines will be paid. CTV's Jeremy Thompson has more on the mayor's plan to change that.
Greg Brodeur says he was trying to obey the neighborhood parking ban. Instead, he and a handful of neighbors woke up to find $250 parking tickets on their windshields and a road that hadn't been cleared. The text notification from the city initially said plows would be by Friday, January 23rd.
The ticket came on Sunday and the plows came on Tuesday.
He's been in touch with his councillor and plans to challenge the fine, but not all of his neighbors will.
Some people are definitely going to challenge it because they're not happy about it and the way it was done. And others can't be bothered and probably will just end up paying the fine.
Since the city introduced seasonal parking bans a few years ago, ticket totals have varied with the weather. The dollar figures on this graph don't account for fine revenue lost through successful challenges.
If people feel like a ticket was incorrectly issued, they should absolutely go through the challenge process.
The city couldn't supply CTV with a breakdown of how many parking ban tickets are successfully challenged through a city review process or how many end up in court. It could not provide an estimate of how much money the city loses out on due to successful challenges either. Mayor Andrew Knack says ideally the city wouldn't earn any money from parking fines because people are following the rules.
We don't want to rely on that. We never want to get into a position where we're relying on that revenue to fund our snow and ice control program. That's not something that we would want to do.
As council prepares to overhaul the snow clearing budget, Knack suggests adding to the current contingent of 5 enforcement officers could help reduce ticket challenges. Brodeur figures existing officers could be deployed more effectively.
Those 5 officers, why can't they ticket ahead of the plows when they're actually coming?
He plans to contest his ticket once he receives official notice in the mail. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
A young Edmontonian dressed up as a familiar politician for a special occasion at City Hall today. This is Mayor Brady. He and his grade 6 class at Michael Strembetsky School were at City Hall for City Hall School. He briefly met with the mayor and asked some questions. Mayor Brady even bought a pair of glasses just for the occasion.
I just thought it would be kind of funny to look like Andrew Knack and wear the suit. I just got it because we were doing a mock council and I'm the mayor for it, so I wanted to look like Andrew Knack.
A delight to meet the mini-me, although he should have shaved his head. That's the only other advice I'd offer him, but otherwise, perfect.
Brady took his advice into consideration, but determined it would take too long for his hair to grow back. Knack says he did switch into his blue suit when they met so that they could match. Coming up next, how Las Vegas hotels are working to bring back Canadian tourists. And also just ahead, new tech to make it easier to find your kids on the slopes.
Whether it's 5 minutes or 2 hours, that's too long to be separated from your child.
Good evening, folks. A few more really cold days, and then some milder air starts to press back in Sunday and into early next week. We'll take a closer look at that and the rest of your 5 and 10 day forecast in just a few minutes.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
The head of Invest Alberta says a renewed relationship between China and the Canadian government could have significant benefits for our province. Rick Christiance was part of the delegation that joined Prime Minister Mark Carney in Beijing last week. He says Alberta has always had strong ties to Chinese investors, and many of them met with Carney during the trip. Speaking in Alberta Primetime, Christiance says China is already a major investor in Alberta's energy sector and is very interested in other sectors as well.
And with all of the uncertainty that currently resides in the world, especially the uncertainty being created by our friends down south, dealing with a reliable Alberta, which has predictable products, high quality, is something that they want to continue to build on and continue to work on.
He says when it comes to possible investment in a new West Coast pipeline, the Chinese stand ready to participate in whatever form we would like them to. 3 downtown Las Vegas hotels are getting creative in an effort to win back Canadian tourism. The hotels are now accepting the loonie at par with the American dollar, and not just for accommodations, but at resort bars and casinos too. CTV's Tim Brooke reports.
Over the cold Canadian winter months, Las Vegas usually sees Canucks flock to the city in the desert, but not so much as of late.
There's something clearly missing, and that's the lack of Canadian tourism.
Las Vegas air traffic is down almost 10% year over year, and the biggest declines are coming from Canadian Airlines, Vegas's largest international market.
Canadian tourism on a monthly basis, it's been down anywhere from 25% to 50%.
And so, new incentives. Downtown hotels Circa, The D, and Golden Gate have begun accepting the struggling Canadian dollar at par with the American dollar.
If you don't stay here, no sweat. We have a bar in each one of our 3 hotels that we've designated as a Canadian bar. And then if you have $500 Canadian, we'll give you $500 American in a voucher to play slots at any one of our 3 casinos.
The push follows similar tourism moves in Washington, Montana, California, and even at Walt Disney World.
Losing even a fraction of that traffic means that we lose billions in tourist spending, and tens of thousands of jobs are at stake. That's significant, especially given the general malaise in the economy.
This slowing travel demand can be linked directly back to the re-election of U.S. President Donald Trump. Among Canadians who have not recently traveled to the States, 34% cite their feelings about Trump or the way America is treating Canada.
And you now understand why Canadians have stopped going to tourist destinations like Las Vegas. Every state can tell you how much their economy is losing.
Just not wanting to support what's going on right now makes sense.
It's not worth it like that, and Trump's being crazy, so.
Hotel owners say they understand deals alone won't be enough for many travelers, but they hope some rethink the boycott.
We miss our best friends.
Tim Brooke, CTV News, Calgary.
An Alberta man's invention for helping locate kids on the ski hill is coming to Marmot Basin. Ski Crumb is a radio-based GPS system that can track your child while out on the slopes. The company says it's an alternative to tracking apps that can fail when cell service drops or batteries freeze. The tech is available at some ski resorts in BC and is now coming to Marmot Basin in Jasper. Keith McIntyre was inspired to create the device after he lost his son on a mountain for 45 minutes.
It is the most fulfilling thing I've ever done. I talked to thousands of parents, and anyone that skis a significant amount of time has had some incident. And whether it's 5 minutes or 2 hours, that's too long to be separated from your child.
It costs $20 to rent at Marmot Basin or $199 to purchase for yourself. Kids Sport Alberta is getting more money from the province.
The demand for what we do is higher than ever, and the Every Kid Can Play program has allowed us to significantly increase our impact.
More than $500,000 in new funding is going to Kids Sport Alberta this year. The organization says it will be able to help an extra 1,500 kids. Families in need are eligible for up to $350 to help with costs like program registration. After the break, how purchasing a Mighty Millions lottery ticket can help the Stollery.
We want to make sure that the equipment, the specialties that are needed for the kids today are being taken care of.
Programming brought to you by the Billy Joel Songbook with your Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. Learn more at winspearcenter.com.
Welcome back. Temperatures through most of the late morning, early afternoon were right around -20. The official daytime high will come in at -15. That was just after midnight, so early this morning. It was a slow and steady drop in temperature through the day today. In fact, coldest temperatures so far this month. Prior to today, -20 was as cold as we had been in January. We'll be close to -30 tomorrow morning. Here's your cloud cover with this next system starting to spill in from the north through the course of the day tomorrow. So we'll get a little bit of sunshine in the morning, cloudy skies in the afternoon. Most of the snow is going to be light flurries from Slave Lake up towards high level. And then around supper time and into the evening and overnight period, you get a chance of some flurries or light snow from around Edmonton, off to the west, northwest, and then south through the Red Deer region. Now, it looks like in Edmonton, most of the snow is going to be just light flurries, anywhere between a dusting to maybe 2 or 3 centimeters worth. This overnight Friday into Saturday morning could actually, in western parts of the province, be a little bit more accumulation. You're going to see some upsloping there, so you could see several centimeters of snow in parts of western Alberta. By Saturday afternoon, though, that snow's all gone in the Edmonton area, and we'll see some sunny breaks late in the day. There's the Arctic air, coldest air in the light pinks and the white. This dark pink purple zone, sort of the edge of the Arctic air, it gradually starts to shift a little further east as we head through the next couple of days. Saturday, we're back to about -15, -16 in the afternoon. Still cold, just not as cold as today and tomorrow. A lot warmer for western and southern parts of the province on Sunday, but then another pocket of Arctic air starts to drop in. That one looks like it'll be focused a little further east, and so it should move out a little bit quicker. I've got -11 in the forecast for Monday. We're maybe a couple of degrees colder than that. We'll see how that plays out. But the overall trend is somewhere in the -15 to -20 range for highs Friday, Saturday, around -10 Sunday and early next week. And then the bigger warm-up comes middle to the end of next week. Well into the -30s in east central and northeastern Alberta tomorrow morning. Cold warnings in effect for that area. Wind chill will be in the -40s. In fact, there may even be some areas just east of Edmonton with wind chill in the -40s tomorrow morning. -22 for the high in Fort McMurray tomorrow afternoon. Look at Cold Lakes at -26, -11. In Grand Prairie, Red Deer gets to about -16. And here in Edmonton, we'll be around -18 tomorrow, -16 Saturday. Chance of flurries Friday night into early Saturday morning. And then breezy, but back to about -9 on Sunday. That is your forecast.
It was a big day for Hollywood as the Oscar nominations were announced. Some nominations were expected and others were a surprise, and a few were Canadian. CTV's Andrea Case reports.
Sinners, the vampire horror box office hit, was released way back in April. It received 16 Academy Award nominations, the most ever in the Academy's 98-year history. Nominations include 3 for Ryan Coogler, Best Director, Best Picture, and Best Screenplay. On the film's acting side, a Best Acting nod to Michael B. Jordan, Best Supporting Actor for Delroy Lindo, and Best Supporting Actress Wunmi Masaku. If there's a film which can give Sinners a run for its money, that film is One Battle After Another. It garnered 13 nominations, including Best Director and Best Film for Paul Thomas Anderson. He's been nominated 11 times and never won one yet. His cast, including Leonardo DiCaprio, Benicio del Toro, Sean Penn, and Tiana Taylor, were all nominees, but no nomination for Chase Infinity. Locally, made in Toronto, Frankenstein received numerous nominations, including Jacob Elordi, who played the monster, and Toronto producer J. Miles Dale in the Best Film category. And the wild ride continues for Toronto's Maggie Kang, whose K-pop Demon Hunters was nominated in the Best Animated Film category, and Golden was nominated for Best Original Song. 11 actors are first-time nominees, including from the film Sentimental Value, Stellan Skarsgård, Renata Rintsev, Inga Ibsdotter Lilius, and Elle Fanning. Sentimental Value received 9 nominations, as did Marty Supreme, giving star Timothée Chalamet his second Best Actor nomination in 2 years. You also heard his name called as a producer on the film. Rounding out the Best Film list, Bugonia, F1, Hamnet, The Secret Agent, and Train Dreams. Comedian Conan O'Brien will host the 98th Academy Awards on March 15th. You can watch them right here on CTV, CTV's division of Bell Media. Andrea Case, CTV News.
An annual fundraiser for the Stollery Children's Hospital will also support a new standalone hospital. This year's Mighty Millions lottery is offering millions of dollars in prizes, including this grand prize home in Keswick. It's worth nearly $2.5 million and comes furnished. All the proceeds from this year's lottery will go towards the pediatric research and equipment needed to help kids at the existing Stollery and the new hospital.
We want to make sure that the equipment, the specialties that are needed for the kids today are being taken care of, while we are still holding some funds so that we can invest in the Stollery when it is ready. Technology changes rapidly, so we don't want to transport old equipment over necessarily. We want to make sure that we have cutting edge today and tomorrow.
The Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation is currently trying to raise $1 billion for the new standalone Stollery. And that's our show for this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good night.